Hey y'all, Lugo here. The new League of Path of Exile 1 is coming up soon, and I wanted to make a video on how to level up a Shadow class from the fresh start. I will be going over every act and what skill gems and passive nodes I will be taking. I will cut out to at the end of every act and then show you guys what I'm doing. If you're new here, please subscribe, like the video. Hopefully this video does help for new players coming into the game and just returning players who've never played a shadow class and want sort of a guideline on what to do for a smooth campaign sailing. Yeah, let's get to it, guys, and thanks again for watching the video. So we got to the Force Encampment after Act 1. I wanted to show you the skill gems I used to get to here. So first, you'll start with Viper Strike and chance to poison when you first begin the game. Once you get to the town, try your best to get some claws with triple green sockets. If there's no claws available, just get daggers with at least one dagger that has triple green sockets that are all linked. And that way you can start equipping your Cobra Lash here. So what this does is pretty much it throws one of your projectiles, and if it hits an enemy, it does some chaos damage and puts poison on them. It does very good dot damage as well. So usually especially with the smaller enemies, if you hit them once, if they don't die from the initial hit, they do poison to death. So, and then we're gonna add chance of poison that you got in the beginning for more damage. And then later on, once you level up, we're gonna add the volley support. This is very cool because instead of it shooting from your sides, it keeps just shooting extra projectiles from your front here. Some enemies here, if like I said, the initial hit doesn't kill them, they do poison to death. So pretty cool spell or ability to use in the beginning. Very useful because the Cobra Lash does chain throughout the enemies, as you can see here. Chains 3 times, so if it does hit one enemy and there's a group of enemies, it chains between all of them. They all pretty much get poisoned most of the time and they all die. Really fast to clear out packs of enemies in the beginning. Our movement skill, I started off with dash, but I ended up using whirling blades later on. Now with dash, you can see it's quick, but it has a cooldown. But with whirling blades, it's quick as well, but you can keep casting it, and this will be very useful to get around the map. And also it damages enemies if you hit them. I do have Contagion here. This is only used for like a big group of enemies, or if you're fighting like a little harder elite that is surrounded by enemies. So you can cast this, it puts a dot on one of the enemies, and then if you kill it, it spreads the chaos damage per second around the whole group of enemies, so it could come in handy sometimes. But yeah, that's it for the skill gems. So our passive tree, starting off in Act 1, we're going to start here, get some more chaos damage, more fizz damage, and more max life. We're going to head this way, just more DPS this way. Get some attack speed, cast speed, dexterity, and intelligence. And then I went down here first, 10% increased damage over time, another increase in damage over time, and get this node here as well. Then I went and got these two nodes here just for more attack speed and just more DPS, increased damage with ailments, which is your poison. And then I went up this way to get some like tankiness, get some more health, and you gain life per enemy killed, some strength as well. Coming up here, get some more damage, some crit strike chance, and some dexterity and intelligence. Some of these nodes are really good because they give you both one attribute and on top of that another attribute, instead of getting these small nodes here that just give you one attribute. For example, this one gives me 20 strength, which is 2 small nodes here, and on top of that gives me more passives as well. And then this one gives me both dexterity and intelligence, which is very crucial for the shadow because he does use mixtures of blue and green gems. And then we go this way, get this node here, more chaos damage, some more movement speed, which is always nice to have, more dexterity, and increased physical damage. You might be wondering why physical damage. Our Cobra Lash is a physical damage dealing gem that converts into chaos damage. So the more physical damage increase we have, the more damage Cobra Lash does. And then I just leveled up as you saw in the last clip, and then I just got dexterity plus 10. We are gonna go south for most likely the second act. Yeah, this is just the skill gems and the passive tree for Act 1. I will see you in Act 2. Okay, we just finished Act 2. We're in Act 3. The skills I was using for Act 2 are Cobra Lash still, chance to poison support, volley support here, and then if you have a green socket to your 4-piece, we added cold damage. If it's blue, add lightning damage. If it's red, just add fire damage. And then we are using Herald of Agony. What this does is summons a spider when you poison an enemy. Here, let me demonstrate real quick. You poison an enemy, the spider spawns, and then it just does more DPS for you against enemies. That's very useful when it comes to fighting elite enemies or bosses. Especially if you have your attack speed really high, which we do, it just shoots faster overall. I'll let it shoot for these guys. It does a decent amount of damage. Here's a boss right here. It just helps you kill anything around. And then what we use to support it is Pierce. Right here, Pierce support for the Herald of Agony. That way it just shoots through enemies and does more damage. And then our other aura skill is Precision here, just for more accuracy and crit chance. And then I'm still using Whirling Blades for our movement skill. If you wish to use Dash or Flame Dash or Frostblink, by all means, whatever works for you. I'm still using double claws, which are very good and very powerful. Just make sure to quality them whenever you can. That way your DPS increases. All right, let's move on to the passive tree. Okay, passive tree. So we ended up after Act 1, starting Act 2, we stopped here. So we go down south, get more dexterity, and let's get these claw nodes here for more attack speed and gain life per enemy hit with attacks. It just is better for self-sustain. And then our first claw mastery is we inherit attack speed bonus from dual wielding is doubled while wielding 2 claws, and makes your attack speed very fast and all your attacks in general. So we keep going down here, get some more dex. The reason why I went down south here, just in case later on, this is future proofing your character if you need more strength or intelligence or anything really. The nodes are right here ready for you. And then we go to the right to get some more dex. And then I go down south to get some mana nodes. That way we aren't chugging flasks the whole time. You get 8% reduced mana cost with attacks, and then gain 2 mana per hit with attacks. This is very useful when there's a bunch of enemies. You just get your mana back. That way you can spam since we have so much attack speed, and reduce mana cost for attacks. And then our mana mastery is 10% reduced mana cost with all skills, so it helps a lot with our mana sustain. Yeah, that's Act 2. I will see you in Act 3. Okay, we just finished Act 3. Wanted to go over the skill gems with you guys here. We're still using Cobra Lash with chance to poison, volley support, and added cold damage support. Precision is still our aura. Our movement skill is Whirling Blades. You can still use other movement skills, whichever one you prefer. Herald of Agony, I added Pierce support here. And then in Act 3, once you unlock the library, which is top left corner, you will do this guy's mission here, complete his mission, and then you will unlock a bunch of skill gems here. That's where I have these 3 skill gems lined up here. Minion damage support. What you do with this one is you add it with the Herald of Agony, so that way it just does more damage for you. And then we have vicious projectile supports as well. We add this as well with the Herald of Agony, just more damage. And then for faster attacks, I use it on my Whirling Blades. That way it's just much faster just to get around the whole map. But yeah, that's it for the skill gems. Okay, continuing the passive tree. Last act we ended up getting the mana mastery. Now we are going north here. we're first going to get some claw nodes here, some claw damage here, here, some more claw damage and speed. This will as well improve a ton of damage right here, dealing more 25% increased damage with hit and ailments, including poison. Attack speed with claws as well. And then we get our second claw mastery, where we gain 25 life and mana per hit with our main attack and offhand as well. Then come back down here and get these poison nodes here, more poison, duration, and hit, and some chaos resistance as well. That's always nice. And then get your poison mastery, your first one, where our poisons who inflict on non-poison enemies deal 300% increased damage. This is very, very powerful, especially versus the campaign bosses. It's really sweet to use. As you can see here, I ended up getting a plus 30 to intelligence node. Like I said in the last act, this is the reason why we went down here, just in case we needed some more attributes or certain gear or gems or anything like that. I actually needed this 30 intelligence to be able to use a certain claw that had some elemental damage into it. But yeah, that's why I went down south, just so we can future-proof our build, just in case we need some extra attributes somewhere else. But yeah, I will see you guys in Act 4. Alright, y'all, we're at the end of Act 4. Just wanted to give you guys a little showcase of the build so far. Gonna fight the boss here.
I followed your performance in my anti-hero of hubris, and I very much enjoyed it. Now you and I will create the most nightmarish finales together. We're going to make your death really count for something.
Now exile.
Good. Try your best to stay away from him.
Now exile.
We do pretty good poison damage here. Keep some distance. Oh. She won't be in Path of Exile too.
Let us see if you truly understand what it means to be Nightmare.
Here we go.
Nightmare is the true eternal.
Get this thing so it stops healing him.
Selfish.
Well, that kind of hurts.
Accept the gift of immortality.
As long as you keep hitting him, you'll be healing and getting your mana back. So fire away.
You're so in love with death.
Try your best to stay out of this tornado. A little AoE ground effect. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so end of Act 4, the only thing I added was a summon Ice Golem for extra crit chance and some accuracy, and I added a minion life support. The minion life support you can get at the library in Act 3 from the merchant. Everything else is the same as last act. Okay, so passive tree, we ended up finishing our claw nodes last act, as well as some poison nodes here. So we're going back south to get some projectile damage and increase chaining range here with these two nodes, and then get our projectile mastery, which 1% increase projectile damage per 16 dexterity. You should have above 200 dexterity by now, so this is just a increase in DPS. If you are a bit higher level than me, we're going to be finishing this circle here with more attack speed, and then end up getting multi-shot, so we throw an extra projectile with every hit. Alright, see you guys in the next act. Just finished Act 5. The only change you do in Act 5 is you take out volley support from your Cobra Lash and add greater multiple projectile support. That way you're throwing more blades out in the field. And also, it's time to upgrade your claws. If you have some low level claws, you can either check the merchants for new claws, or if you're in the trade league, you can trade with other players for some better claws. Look for anything that gives you physical damage or chaos damage. Attack speed is very good as well. And also, since we just beat Act 5, we did get a minus 30% to all resistance debuff. So my resistance now are pretty low. So I highly recommend you start looking for gear that gives you some resistance. Also, if you can use your crafting bench to add some resistance on some gear pieces, that would be good as well. Um, yeah, that's about it for the skill gems and gear. Let's move on to the passive tree. Okay, passive tree, I left off finishing this circle here for more attack speed and then ended up getting multi-shot so I can fire an extra projectile. And then I went to the left here to get these two small nodes for dexterity and then got some critical alignment damage over time multiplier and as well as crit chance increase right here. Then I went for more increased crit chance and 25% damage over time multiplier for elements from critical strikes. So that way when you crit, your dot damage would do a bit more extra damage. And then we got the mastery for 10% damage over time multiplier if you've killed recently. So this would just keep going on while you're just like surfing through the map. So our crit chance, you'll probably have it range from 20% up to 35% during the campaign, which it might seem low, but our attack speed's so fast that we're throwing so many projectiles in a short amount of time that we will be critting a lot. So it makes up for it, especially during the campaign. We can rack this up later for post-game, end-game content, but for now, with the campaign leveling guide, this is enough for us. Side note, so for my Ascendancy, since this is just a leveling guide for the Shadow class, it really doesn't matter what Ascendancy you pick. If you wish to pick the same one as me, I did go with the Assassin, and I went with this node here, which gives me some damage from critical strikes cannot be reflected. That really doesn't matter, but the second line is huge. 25% more damage while there is at least one rare or unique enemy nearby. So that counts for the campaign bosses as well. You just get a ton more damage. And then 20% reduced damage taken while there's at least two rare or unique enemies nearby. This won't happen many times. It does happen sometimes while you're walking around through the campaign, so it helps as well too. Like I said, you can pick the other two Ascendancies too. It's not a big deal. I mean, you can change them later on as well, so you're not like stuck with them. I did go with the Assassin, just FYI, if you wanted to do the same thing as I did. Okay, so Act 6 is finished. We're in Act 7. Our Act 6 skill gems. The only difference is I was able to get a 5-link chest piece here with a addition to a blue socket. So for now, we are doing Cobra Lash with chance to poison. The blue link, our blue socket, we've added the skill gem, increase critical strike support. We are still keeping greater multiple projectile support and added cold damage support as well. If you're not able to get a 5-link, it's okay just to keep the 4 green that we've been using last previous acts. That's okay, but if you are, just add the increased critical strike support. That way we crit more and we do more damage. Okay, so for the passive tree, I went down here to finish up these nodes here for more crit strike and critical strike multiplier. Then we got our critical mastery for 25% to critical strike multiplier against unique enemies, which are the campaign bosses as well. Then I went up north to finish up the claw nodes here. Got all these nodes for more crit chance and critical strike multipliers, as well as this node here. And then these two nodes here for more life and sustain, recovering 2% of life on kill. That's going to make us a bit more tanky. That way you don't have to stop shooting your projectiles because you will be killing everything and healing at the same time. see you guys in the next act. Okay, we got to Act 8. So for Act 7, all you do is pretty much focus on upgrading your weapons and upgrading your resistance for your defense. The skill gems are the same as previous acts. And now we are focusing on some evasion, armor, stacking. So we are stacking evasion on almost all gear pieces. My boots here are armor evasion. As long as you have movement speed on your boots, it really doesn't matter if they're evasion, energy shield, or armor. Just try your best to get some movement speed so things go smoother. And one note, if you do need some resistance, as you can see here, I did craft some lightning res. So make sure you do use the crafting bench if you have access to it and have the resource for it. It's just the easier way to stack some resistance. But yeah, like I said before, the skill gems are the same as last act. For the passive tree, we are going down south now to get these 3 dexterity nodes, ending up here. So that way we can get some evasion and movement speed nodes here, as well as 30% increase to cooldown recovery rate of movement skills, that meaning dash, flame dash, frostblade, etc. And then we will get our first evasion mastery, 40% increase evasion rating if you have been hit recently. Recently refers to the past 4 seconds. So that's just stacking some more defense as well. For our Ascendancy, I told you guys before I went with the Assassin. I did refund these 2 nodes here after I got my second point or finished my second trial. FYI, it takes 5 refund points to take off 1 node, so a total of 10 is needed here if you wish to respec. I went up this way so I can get 40% chance poison on hit, 5% increased poison duration for each poison you have inflicted recently up to a maximum of 100%, and you recover some life per poison affecting enemies you kill. So more tankiness, more survivability, as well as more damage. And then I go back up here, more crit chance, increased damage over time. And then poisons you inflict with critical strikes deal 25% more damage. 0.5% to critical strike chance per poison affecting an enemy up to 2.0%. So just more damage. The reason why I took these now and respect this, because once you finish the first trial, it's better to take this node here, these 2 nodes here, instead of having these 2 first. That way you can get the damage out of this one more than just having this one here. And then once you finish your second trial, I do recommend you guys to refund these 2 points and go this path. It's just it feels much better when it comes to DPS. If you've gotten this far into the video, I appreciate you watching. Hopefully the guide is helping you out. Please subscribe and like the video. I will really appreciate that, and I will see you in the next act. Alright, so we finished Act 8. We are in Act 9. In Act 8, the skill gems remain the same. Just like I said before, focus on upgrading your claws. This one I was lucky enough to roll a great claw with a orb of alchemy, and then I just quality it to 20%, and it increased my DPS by a ton. And focus on getting some resistance. Like I mentioned before, if you can, use the crafted bench to add some resistance wherever you need it. Try your best not to be in the negatives, because you will most likely be one-shotted. Okay, for Act 8 passive tree, we did add a couple nodes. Starting with some evasion and life, we are getting these 3 nodes here, as well as 10% chance to suppress spell damage while at full life. And then our second evasion mastery, which gives us 100% increased evasion rating from equipped body armor. Like I said before, we are stacking evasion, so make sure your body armor has a pretty decent role in evasion. That way this node here just makes it even better. And then we are going to the right and then down again to get some accuracy and attack speed. As we level up, our attack speed will increase a lot, but our accuracy will decrease a bit. So these 3 nodes will help with that. This one as well increases more attack speed and gives us more accuracy rating. That is about it for the passive tree in Act 8. I will see you in Act 9. Made it to Act 10. Our skill gems for Act 9 remain the same. I just wanted to show you guys. Sometimes you will find yourself a claw that requires a lot of intelligence, and that's when the crafting bench comes into play. You can actually craft yourself some intelligence on some gear pieces. That way you can get your requirements needed to get some claws equipped that are much better than your previous ones. Just FYI. Our Act 9 passive tree update goes as follow. We go down south here to get more projectile attack critical strike chance. The first node will be 20%, second is 25, and then third is 50% as well as 30% to critical strike multiplier. And then we get our second projectile mastery here where we deal 20% increased damage with hits and ailments for each time they have chained. Our main ability does chain a lot, so this will help with especially bosses that spawn ads. If you do get extra levels like I have, just go down south here to get more dexterity and start this circle here, and then we will finish this in the next act. Thanks again for watching. We have one more act to go. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and like the video, and I will see you in Act 10. Here we are. The heart is coming out one last time. Let's kill the heart. Just keep hitting it. You will heal with all the hits you're doing. There it is. Diamond ring. What? Cool. Act 10 is finished, y'all. So there it is. Act 10 is finished. The journey is finished for the Shadow class. For the skill gems in Act 10, I did not change anything. The only thing I've done with my gear is upgrade my chest piece. I got a better chest piece with more evasion rating. And I got a better claw as well, just for more damage. That's pretty much it for the gear and skill gems. So our Act 10 passive tree, all we do is finish the circle here to get more dual wield crit strikes. Get your twin terrorist node here, 100% increased crit chance while dual wielding. And then your dual wielding mastery, 1% to offhand crit chance while dual wielding, just more damage. And then if you've been following the guide from Acts 1 through 10, you should have your crit chance above 50%. That way you can get this keystone here. Perfect agony, damage over time multipliers for ailments is equal to your critical strike multiplier. Critical strikes do not deal extra damage. What that means is our initial hit with our Cobra Lash won't do extra damage from our crits, but the poison we put on the enemy will do a ton more damage because it's based on our critical strike multiplier. But non-critical strikes cannot inflict ailments. That's why it's important to have a lot of crit chance, because if your crit chance is low, you won't be inflicting poison on the enemies, and the perfect agony keystone will be useless. The way you can check this is if you go to your skills, let's go to our main ability, Cobra Lash, and if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see main hand critical strike chance minus 83.84%. That means I have an 83% chance to crit, meaning I have an 83% chance to put poison on the enemy. And then right below that is our main hit critical strike multiplier, which is 335%, meaning our dot, our poison that we put on, would do a ton more damage through all the enemies, and especially with the Cobra Lash, the more it chains, the more damage it does, hence the more dot damage it does. And then if you scroll down, you can also see your offhand critical strike chance and multiplier. The strike chance will be a bit less just because it's your offhand. And like I was mentioning before, the way you increase that is by having precision and your summon ice golem, and some nodes on your main hand is the way you increase your critical strike chance, and some multiplier nodes as well. Yeah, if you've been following the tree from Act 1, you should have enough crit chance and multiplier to take Perfect Agony. If you do not have 50% or more, do not take Perfect Agony, your DPS would drop. The journey is finished. Hopefully this guide and leveling up the Shadow class did help you throughout the journey. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please subscribe and like the video. And guys, I will see you in the next league. Take care.